Alright, YouTubers and OMRC enthusiast. Just in case you're wondering what OMRC is for, that's going to be the new slogan that I'm using for my videos. It's the Old Man Writing Club, OMRC. And basically, the reason for this video is because of a seal leak. The seals in the fork here were leaking pretty bad. I had a nice little puddle which I've cleaned up where I normally park my bike, and that was only after, I think only after about 2 weeks after I cleaned it. So it seems like using Seal Mate, which was a cheap solution. This thing costs about, I believe it cost me about $7 or $8 when I bought it. You can get it for about $9. There's some good videos out there, and that really strongly advise using it. And I thought it fixed my problem, except for that puddle underneath my forks. So since I had a nice puddle, and since this issue's been going on for at least a year, I've had the bike for about a year, maybe going on 2 years now, but it's been an issue since I bought the bike. And I got this syringe / fork oil measuring device, which was I got this on Amazon, and it was recommended to purchase it with the fork oil. So I did, and it's got nice little graduations on it, which I think you're barely going to be able to see, but the maximum amount is like in the 300 range, 300, 310, something like that. And then I checked them with my millimeter rule, and I saw that I confirmed that they were in fact millimeters. So using this guy, I confirmed that on that fork oil measuring device, they're in millimeters. So then basically I started this process out with measuring the oil. And so on the left fork, I checked the measurement of the oil, and basically at approximately the top of the oil, using that measuring device, I measured the oil at 320. Then to the bottom, measured it at 400. So the difference is about 80 millimeters. Now the funny thing is, when you look at the service manual, which for me the service manual is like the Bible for these things, I always like to get a copy. The nice thing about it, most service manuals, it seems like most of them are available online for free. Back in the day when I started this stuff, which was not too recent, these service manuals were rather expensive. You had to buy them for $50 or so. Now you can download them for free. That's pretty cool. So here it is. It says for the left front fork, the fork oil fully compressed is at 80 plus or minus 2 millimeters. Now my fork is not fully compressed. So actually I'm very surprised that I was able to measure 80 millimeters. And it's not even fully compressed. And I'm really surprised because, like I said, this thing's been leaking for a good 2 years or so. And I thought there would be a lot more lost oil with puddles and all. I thought there would be much more lost oil. But it almost seems like I really didn't lose any oil. The thing is, since I already opened this up, I spent money for oil. I spent money for measuring / filling syringe device. and I spent money for a tool. Now this tool, I really like this tool from Race Tech. This tool, what I really like about it, looks nice. It's American made, which I've come to have a lot more confidence in American products in the last few years than in the past. And it was fairly inexpensive. I think I spent about $40. Might have spent as much as $60. And so since I went through all the trouble of opening this up, getting the tools, and really, like I say, I was really surprised that I measured 80 millimeters, which is pretty much per spec, it looks like, but it kind of doesn't make sense because I know that I was leaking for a while. And I do want to change my fork seal, but I don't want to do it right now because I don't want to disassemble my bike and lose a lot of days of not being able to ride. So I decided to try to do a quick fix. Quick fix to hold me to winter when I have time to take this apart and do a good job of fixing it. And I'm not in the middle of a riding season. So anyways, again, according to the service manual, looking at the specs for the left front fork, when changing oil, it's recommended to refill with 480 milliliters, or after disassembly to refill to 566 milliliters. So since I'm playing a little bit of a guessing game, since my measurements didn't really give me any clear indication about how much oil I needed, I just decided that since I opened it up, I have everything, I've gone through all this trouble, I might as well put in, I don't know, some small amount, maybe 10 milliliters. I started to put in 10 milliliters and the oil started leaking out. There's the mess that's left behind. So I had a feeling, but I was thinking that it wouldn't come out until I compressed the syringe, until I compressed this. But it started coming out just by gravity. So then I put this syringe into the fork, and I filled this up to 10 milliliters, and then I didn't even have to compress it. I filled it up to 10 milliliters, and then it started to, the oil level started to lower again because of gravity and started to go in. So I know for sure I've added at least 10 milliliters. I might have added as much as 15 or 12. I doubt that I added 20, but even if I added 20, like I said, my measurements didn't really give me a clear indication as to how much oil was needed in the fork. So that's that. I added it in, and I'm gonna reassemble everything. Oh, the other reason why I was thinking that I needed is because I've got this tie wrap on here, and when I'm riding around the area, this tie wrap is going all the way to the bottom. So it's telling me that I'm fully compressing the spring. This is getting fully compressed, and I'm just riding, like I said, in the neighborhood. Maybe a little hard. I do tend to ride hard. After all, it is a sport bike. Oh, another thing, I was trying to be careful with this wrench when I was opening up the cap, and a couple of times I hit my tank. So don't do that. So I grabbed that old rag and put it on the tank because I don't want to scratch my tank. And another point with that cap wrench, I use this sledgehammer. Nice little sledgehammer. I put the cap on here, and then I hit the end, And it was hard. It took a couple of pounds with that nice sledgehammer to open it and take it off. And in the very last few when I was loosening it up by hand, when it was finally off, it popped up. So pushing it back in, I think might be a little bit of a challenge. But I'm hoping it's not too much trouble for me to do it by myself. If anything, I might try to get some help and have somebody like push down on this while I've got the wrench and I'm trying to tighten it. I'm gonna try to do it at first by myself. But anyways, I'll let you know how that goes. There is gonna be a second part to this video. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to be starting a new webpage, YouTube webpage, the Old Man Writing Club webpage. And so that's where I was starting out with, referring to the Old Man Writing Club enthusiasts, OMRC enthusiasts. This is going to be, I'll probably post this on my normal YouTube website, which is mostly judo videos, and maybe soon after that I'll post it to the OMRC YouTube website. So now I'll be posting things there, motorcycle related items there, and keep my judo stuff on the other Applecon website, and keep this motorcycle stuff on the OMRC website. So stay tuned. If you're having any fork seal leaks and maybe seal mate hasn't worked for you and you're not ready to take your fork apart, maybe you want to do some riding like me, it's in the middle of the season, doing something like this might work for you too. So like I said, I'm going to have a second, maybe a third part of this video to let you know how things go. I'm expecting and hoping that it will be successful and I could share that with you. Stay tuned.